It's a great day here at KEKFILA's YouTube channel. I am the KEKFILA, and today is match 2 out of 9 in the May 27th Treasure Cup from Play TCG. And I'm skipping game 1 because game 1 I had a bye, essentially. The guy came in and said, hey, you got the win. I'm here for prize support, which really sucks for not just me, but for other people that wanted to be in the tournament. So... but you can't really stop them. So I end up winning the dice roll and choosing to go first against a Luffy. And this Luffy is from Wisconsin. He's a very nice player. He'll probably see this video. I believe he is just in the YouTube hemisphere as far as watching things, right? But I know Luffy's pretty good right now. I think I have a great matchup into Luffy, but it depends on how they draw, right? So I end up drawing the nuts with like getting Perona on turn 1. Placing that down, looking at top 5 cards of the deck, and organizing in any order I want to do those in. You know, a lot of time I don't really go over what's good and what's bad in this thing, and I kind of give a shout out here. I think if you're looking to find out why or what, I would actually recommend some coaching with Will to Win Gaming. He does have some good insight and a good way to look at the game, but as far as this goes, it's definitely a draw a card you want to draw, and then place a card you want to place. And one of these, guess what? I drew a card I wanted to draw, and I placed a Jinbei, which is pretty dang good against Luffy. Ends up taking the damage, now getting a Jet Pistol. Unlucky. And then the turn with 5 cards in hand. And we move on. While I wait for my opponent to do his turn, I did want to give a shout out to Will to Win Gaming. I just made a podcast with him. Available on YouTube and other platforms, so definitely give that a check out, and also leave a comment down below what you think of these games are like, and if there's any things you'd like to improve on. Should I make it look different, edit it differently? Should I do it live differently? Is the way it's facing okay? And about some music in the background that's maybe copywritten, not sure. So he ends up putting 2 Dawn on that and swinging for 6. I definitely want to counter out. He probably swung on my leader because I probably have a Gecko Mori on the top of the deck, and I don't have a Love Mallow in hand. So I swing 7, most likely at his leader, and then attaching 2, paying 1, revealing a Gecko Moria, grabbing that 2k counter. So pretty good start to this game to Jinbei into a Gecko Moria. He ends up countering out 2k, 1k, and... this is where it gets kind of odd. I've had someone mess this up as well, and the opponent could have done something different, and I would highly recommend doing something different as well. But he's put in a hard spot when you see Jinbei. If you guys didn't know Jinbei's skills, when he dies, he puts a card to the bottom of the deck, 3 cost or less. And so he first starts with his Gordon swinging 5, most likely at my Gecko Moria, and I just let it die. He's going to kill it with his Nico Robin anyway, so I want to put him in a hard position here. And so he missed minus his 3 to my Jinbei. And then he goes Nami and grabs a Jet Pistol off the top of the deck. Pretty good. I've heard that's above average. He ends up throwing 1 Dawn under Nico Robin, and he actually swings 5 at leader, but KOing the Jinbei, because Jinbei's a 2k power. I take advantage of that. He kills it. I put the Nico to the bottom of the deck right away. The attack does fizzle. It's kind of a ruling here, but the card's not there anymore. The attack can't really go through, so I don't have to counter out. Honestly, just swing at the Jinbei and killing the Perona would have been probably smarter, but he swings 7 at leader. I take this one. Kind of thinking I have a pretty good advantage now, at least through hand. So I play this Doflamingo, looking at top 5 of the deck, and putting it in this order. I end up putting 2 Dawn on leader, paying 1, playing a Gecko Moria, and I grab that Jinbei because that's the only thing I can grab. Looks like I'm seeing lots of Gecko Morias, so my value engine is really strong. So my opponent ends up thinking here for a moment on how he wants to counter out, and he decides to counter out. So his hand's starting to really hurt here. I think his game's pretty hard, especially when I'm able to remove some of his threats. So he gives me a 2K and a 1K. One's a Vista, and that's kind of rough. I play a blocker right after. It's kind of telegraphed, right? I'm going to play some sort of 1 cost, and now he doesn't have a Vista for that. So there we go. 2 blockers, 4 life. I have 7 cards in hand because of the 2 Gecko Morias. Kind of goated here. We got Curly Dedan coming down. He actually ends up whiffing, which is pretty unlucky, right? And I end up thinking here with, I believe, 6 Dawn left. And he's got to make some aggressive plays here. And he ends up swinging 5, most likely at the Moria. And I just discard a 1K counter. And he throws 3 on the Nami, swinging 5 at the Moria again. And I give another 1K counter. He could be swinging at leader. I'm actually not sure. I can only assume he's swinging at the Moria. And then he has to swing 7 with his leader, I believe. Or he could go 6, but swing 7. I'm going to block that. Just makes sense. And I'm going to go to my 9 Dawn turn. So I most likely have a Mihawk here. And I just swing at the Nami. Let the Nami go. I swing 5 at the Dan. The Dan dies. I swing 5 at the leader. Now he has to think. And I'm easily going to Mihawk this board. I just need that off of here. So takes that damage, going down to 2 life. I Mihawk, clearing his board, putting that to the bottom of the deck, and passing turn. So again, he's at 2 life, I'm at 4 life. I just have a pure advantage, right, when it comes to value at this point. And that's sort of like the hard matchup. I find this matchup is really hard for red if they go second, and that's unless I brick out and they nut. So he ends up playing a Newgate, going pretty tall here, and he swings most likely it's 8K at the Gecko Moria, and I think I decide to either counter out or block. I block because I didn't really care too much. He has 1 Dawn active. And I need to think, do I need a punch here? Or do I need to set up again? So, playing Mihawk's out of the question. Looks like I'm punching. So I attach 2, swing for 7. He gives me a Nico Robin. I swing for 9. And he ends up taking this one, which was the more interesting play to me. I swing for 7, paying 1. And I place a Doflamingo off the top of the deck. Organizing that again. And leaving it there. My opponent ends up countering for 2, and I pay 4, and I play that, and I keep 1 Dawn active. I could have swung for 8 on one of these attacks, but it wouldn't have mattered. So, because he used a 2K. He goes to 1 life, and he doesn't think what he has to do now. Do I punch through? I have a blocker on my end. He needs to clear my board while also clearing. I have another blocker that's going to stand next turn. And I'm going to swing with all my might, essentially. So I'm going to skip through this quite a bit. He ends up jet pistoling the blocker, and I play the Kuma. He's just thinking if I had the pacifist or not. So jet pistols that. Swing 7 most likely on the Moria. And I just let the Moria die. I'm okay with it. And oh, it's thundering out there. Sheesh. Huh. Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, he throws 2 Dawn on this guy, and he ends up swinging for 12 at Mihawk, KOing that. It looks like he -3'd on that with another guy. And then I just counter out 4K counter, which counters out, saving my Mihawk. He has 2 Dawn left, 3 cards in hand, and I need to think, well, I just need to kill him this turn. He has 3 Dawn. I can do this in 2 swings, but let's just make it 3 swings. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put 5 down on Perona, so she's shooting in for 7. Just want to get 2 cards out of his hand. He ends up taking it and declaring no trigger. I go another 7. He gives me 2K and a 1K. I go for 5. And then a great 11K. And that was it. That's all she wrote. Thank you guys so much for watching this game. I'll have the next game up very soon. And I'll go... I might skip a couple games. No, I'll just do what games I can, right? There were some interesting games I had. At this point in time, I'm 1-1 in this tournament. And we'll see what the road follows. Hopefully I can run it up to that chopper, right? Or even better, a Luffy. Talk to you guys in the next one. Ciao.